Hey, calculus. I'm doing 11 and 12 on some of your guys' questions, on some requests. And I will ask if you're doing it with me on the video and you feel like, oh, Mr. Toby, you got over the block I was on, pause the video, then continue on yourself and try to finish it. And if you get stuck, you can play the video. Once you finish, then watch the video and see if you got the same answer as me afterwards and you follow the same work. But I recommend pausing if you're like, oh, I figure out what the derivative of sine 10x is. So let's start this right away. So I'm going to label my f of x and my g prime of x. So f of x, f prime of x, g of x, and g prime of x. So my f of x is going to be x. The reason I want that because it terminates down to 1. Well, here, sine 10x, we're going to have to do the antiderivative. So we got to think about what turns to the sine. Well, negative cosine derives to the sine. But we had a constant in the 10, so we have to put a 10 out here. And if you're not sure, think of it this way. If you were to derive this, this would be sine cosine 10x. So negative cosine would become double negative sine at 10x. And then you have to derive the inside and multiply it. So the derivative of 10x is just 10. So that would be times 10, and that would cancel out. All right. So all our bowling pins are ready to get knocked over. So let's go. So f of x is x. G of x is times negative cosine 10x all over 10 minus, we have our integral. It's going to be, the integral is f prime of x, because we wanted to get rid of f of x, and negative and then cosine x. Yeah, negative cosine x. So negative cosine 10x over 10. Sorry if that truck was a little loud on the video. All right, so these two things, negative and negative, are, I want to integrate this. I could take out the constant of the negative, and I could take out the constant, which is 10. So then that becomes plus 1 over 10 integral cosine 10x. Okay, so cosine 10x, I need to find the derivative of dx. I need to find the integral of that. So that's going to be 1 over 10 times cosine 10x. Oh, I'm sorry, not cosine anymore. The antiderivative of cosine is sine. So it's going to be sine 10x over 10. There's a plus c hanging around, but don't worry about that right now. And just want to check, okay. And then we're just going to combine terms and put them all as one final answer. So our final answer, and this guy just was staying the same, so he comes down here. Negative x cosine 10x over 10 minus, because we end up with a negative, I believe. Why do I have a minus here? Yeah, there shouldn't be a minus here. I don't know why there's a minus. So there should be plus sine 10x over 100. So that's your answer. Oh, and plus c. So that's your answer for number 11. All right, so this one's definitely a challenging one. Both that, first off, we have an actual limit or a bounding, and that what should I say here? And that we're dealing with ln x. Okay, so remember before, I think it was number 9 I talked about, ln x, when you integrate or antiderivative, it is so much more complicated. So it doesn't do a good enough job of being g of prime x, even though maybe this terminates. So what I'm going to purposely do is first rewrite this question as from 9 to 1. Square root of x is going to be written as x to the negative half power times ln x dx. So I would recommend us rewriting as a power because it makes it a lot easier to visualize the integration of it. Sorry, I'm messing with the camera right now. All right, so like I said, ln x cannot play the role of g prime of x, so it instead is going to get the role of f of x. And then this over here is going to become 1 over x. And that does simplify it, by the way. That does simplify it because ln is gone, and that's pretty good for us. So the g prime of x is our leftover. He's the secondary role. So that's x negative 1/2 power. To get the antiderivative, you add 1 to the power. So that's x to the 1/2. Then divide by the exponent, your new exponent. So 1/2 divided by, or you're dividing a half is the same as timesing by 2. So you end up with 2x and a half power as your g of x. And all intents and purposes, not any more complicated. Okay, so all our eggs are in the basket, so let's lay them out. So let's go. First one's f of x and g of x, so that's ln x times 2x to the half power. First time, it's very wild. You don't usually get no division in these problems. Minus, we have our integral of, let's see, I just want to make sure, g of x, oh no, f prime of x and g of x, so that's 1 over x, and then g of x, which is 2 times 2x half power dx. Okay, so with that in mind, we have that. All right, hopefully the camera stands still and does its job. Okay, so let's continue. This is over 1. So x and then 2x to the half power. Remember, when you divide x's, you subtract the exponent. So that's going to be negative the integral of 2x to the negative half power dx. Well, this is a times 2, so that's a constant. I can move that out. And then here's just the square root 1 over x. I'm going to leave it like that because it's easier to do as a power. So we got 2 integral x to the 1/2 power dx, a negative 1/2 power dx. Anti-derived that, I actually already know what that is. So negative 2 times 2x to the half power. So we got negative 4x to the half power. And then this original guy over here hasn't changed. 2x to the half power ln x. Okay, so keep that in mind. I'm going to pause and rewrite something. All right. Now it's all rewritten. A little bit more bigger and neater. Now remember, it's not going to be a plus c because we actually had bounds. So we're going to go from the difference of 9 and 1. So first I'm going to plug in 9, and then I'm going to plug in 1. So 2 times 9, the square root of 9, I should say, ln 9 minus 4 times the square root of 9. Okay? And let me just make sure that's in view. Minus, and I'll put big parentheses here. We're going to plug in 1. 2 to 1 to the half power, ln 1, minus 4 to the ln power. Oh, or I'm sorry, 1 to the half power. Okay, so let's take care of one at a time. This over here, I have square root of 9 is 3. 3 times 6 is 6. ln 9, I don't know what that is, so I'm just going to leave it as 6 ln 9 minus 4 times 3 is 12. Over here, we're going to get 2 times 1 times ln 1. Remember, ln 1 is the same thing as asking at what exponent gives you, at e, gives you 1. Okay. At what exponent does e give you 1? And that's 0. So this thing right here, this final piece right here, just completely disappear because it gets timed by 0. And then a double negative is a plus. 4 times 1, which is 4. Okay, and then we're just going to combine like terms. 6 ln 9 minus 8. Okay, I hope this helped. I hope you paused and tried it yourself because that's the best way you're going to learn this. Have a wonderful day. Keep clean. Keep your social distance.